Mr. Mayor, come on, I know you love a celebration, and yeah, your answer, it seems to be kind of like one of these bad Hollywood movies that's all gloomy and apocalyptic, but really, that's not what's going to happen. I mean, you simply can't forecast all of those things that you said, but the good thing about leaving the European Union on the 31st of October is that we're going to have full control back of our sovereignty and of our money. We're going to have £39 billion that we would otherwise have to give to bureaucrats in Brussels, which we could spend on housing and schools and hospitals and all those good things that we want to do in this country. And we'll have back control of our territorial fishing waters, and we'll have British fish for British fishermen once again. And we'll also be able to have...
Remember, Kurten, it's very entertaining, but I want a question now.
Madam Chair, I'm just building up to the question.
Just put the question.
But the question, Mr. Mayor, is, given all the good things that are going to happen when we have Brexit, shouldn't we have a celebration for the 1.4 million Londoners who voted for Brexit?
Chair, when I am chairing the Mayor's Advisory Group with leading members of the police service, the fire service, the NHS, councils, utility companies, and discussing some of the concerns they've got in relation to a no-deal Brexit, it's not a cause for celebration. When I look at the consequences of the pound going down and the increase in food prices, inflation, I don't think it's a cause for celebration. When I speak to Londoners, and they're Londoners, by the way, who were here in City Hall 3 weeks ago, when we were offering free legal advice on immigration status, and they'd been here for many, many years, and they were in tears, worried about their future status in this country, it wasn't a cause for celebration. When Brandon Lewis talks about deporting EU citizens after December next year if they've not got secure status, I don't think it's a cause for celebration. And if you think it is, that speaks more to you and your values than it does to me.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I mean, what would be catastrophic is if we overturn the democratic decision of 17.4 million people taken in June 2016 to leave the European Union. Don't you think that you and other people who are calling for a second referendum, which may have on the ballot paper remaining, is absolutely wrong? We have voted to leave, and leave should mean leave, Mr. Mayor.
Well, Chair, here's the conundrum with those Brexiteers who advocated leave. They're unclear exactly what they meant by leave. If you read back, listen to and watch what campaigners who campaigned to leave were saying in 2016, they weren't saying leave the European Union without a deal whatsoever. They were saying things like, we will leave the EU and still be members of the single market. Or they were saying, we'll leave the EU and be members of the customs union and single market. Or they were saying, we'll have a really good trade relationship with the European Union. Nobody was saying leave the EU without any deal whatsoever, and nobody was saying we'd be deporting EU citizens who hadn't got secured status. And my point in response is, why are you scared of giving the British public a final say? What can be more democratic than giving the British public a final say? Why are you scared of democracy?
No.
That's
Assembly Member Kurten, Assembly Member, no, seriously, no, this is not a conversation between you and the Mayor. And Mr. Mayor, you are not here to ask members questions, and I would just ask you to contain yourself to giving answers to their questions.
Chair, it's a rhetorical.
No, I don't want to, and we don't need rhetorical. We've got enough on our plate. Do you have any further questions?
Well, Mr. Mayor, there's nothing scary about implementing the decision of the referendum in June 2016, and that's what we should actually do. But, Mr. Mayor, I mean, I do feel that in some ways you are rewriting history here, because what we said in the debates going into the referendum and since then is that...
No, you're going off your question. You started about celebration. Bring it back to your question.
Okay, well, but back to the question, I will just build up to my next supplementary question, Madam Chair, is that, obviously, what we have said is that we are able to obtain a mutually beneficial free trade agreement in goods and services with the European Union. That is the end point, and I'm sure that you would probably agree with me that that's a good thing.